embrace treatments that make no scientific sense. Not surprisingly, scientists are fighting back. Professional skeptics on both sides of the Atlantic, debunkers like James Randi and Michael Shermer, scientist bloggers like Stephen Saltzberg and David Gorski, the biologist and author Richard Dawkins, aggressively denounce religion, pseudoscience, and especially alternative medicine. The 2009 book, Bad Science, in which epidemiologist Ben Goldacre slates those who misuse science to make unjustified health claims, has sold more than 500,000 copies in 22 countries. Even comedians from Tim Minchin to Dara Ó Briain are joining the fight, using their jokes to champion rational thinking and point out the absurdity of treatments like homeopathy. Their followers are standing up against the tide of irrationality with meetings, articles, protests, and what science journalist Steve Silberman calls anti-woo lines drawn in the sand, such as a petition signed by hundreds of UK doctors demanding that the National Health Service stop spending money on homeopathic treatments. Clinical trials prove that most alternative remedies work no better than placebos, fake treatments. The skeptics point out people who use them are being duped. Many argue that these bogus treatments need to be stamped out. There's nothing we need in healthcare that we can't get from conventional, evidence-based cures. I'm all for defending a rational worldview. I believe passionately in the scientific method. I have a PhD in genetics and medical microbiology, during which I spent 3 years probing the inner workings of cells at a top London hospital. I believe that everything in nature can be studied scientifically if we ask the right questions, and that the medical treatments we put our trust in should be tested in rigorous trials. The skeptics are right. If we abandon science for wishful thinking, we might as well be back in the Dark Ages, drowning witches, bloodletting, and praying that God will save us from the plague. But I'm not sure that simply dismissing alternative medicine is the answer. In my work as a science journalist, I encounter not just those who are cured by modern medicine, but those who aren't. Patients whose lives are devastated by gut problems or fatigue, yet are dismissed as not having a real condition. People suffering from chronic pain or depression, prescribed ever higher doses of drugs that create addiction and side effects, but don't solve the underlying problem. Cancer patients who receive rounds of aggressive treatment well past the point at which there's any reasonable hope of extending their lives. And I regularly come across scientific findings, sometimes making headlines, but often buried in specialist journals, suggesting that intangible, immaterial treatments can have real physical benefits. Patients hypnotized before surgery suffer fewer complications and recover faster. Meditation triggers molecular changes deep inside our cells. And as we'll see in the first chapter of this book, if a treatment works no better than placebo, that doesn't mean it doesn't work. Simply believing you have received an effective remedy can have a dramatic biological effect. The mothers around me using amber bracelets and homeopathic pills aren't ignorant or stupid. They know from experience that these things genuinely help. So although I believe that the alternative medicine advocates are deluded with their talk of water memory and healing energy fields, I don't think the skeptics have got it completely right either. I started to write this book because I wondered whether they, along with conventional doctors, are missing a vital ingredient in physical health, an omission that's contributing to the rise of chronic disease and sending millions of sane, intelligent people to alternative practitioners. I'm talking, of course, about the mind. Have you ever felt a surge of adrenaline after being narrowly missed by a car? Felt turned on just from hearing your lover's voice? Retched at the sight of maggots in the trash? If so, then you've experienced how dramatically the workings of your mind can affect your physical body.